Hey guys, it's Dwight. Welcome back to my studio. Today we're going to do another pour. I guess that would make sense because that's where I do them in my studio, so welcome. We are going to do a dump and swirl on a 24 by 36 canvas, and I'm going to be using blue and teal and cream in my mix today, and I'll show you the colors in a few minutes. So I want to answer a couple of questions that I get periodically about my dump and swirls, why I use the paints that I use, etc., etc. Number one question I get asked is, can I use a different color than the black? Yes, you can, of course. I use black because I like the way it looks. I think it contrasts the color well. And then there's a lot of definition between the cells that you can see the black as the background. You can use other colors. I've used blue, I've used red, I think I've used yellow. But paints have different densities, so you have to kind of fool around with it. Now with the black, I'm used to the density, so I know how much to use and how thin to make it. When I used white before as a dump color, I've had to use, had to make my paints thinner. So you have to keep that in mind. The other question I get also is like the orientation of where my negative space ends up. Now that's purely on how I tilt. I tend to tilt the same way over and over again. I do it opposite sometimes. It's just a preference. I can experiment a little bit more. It doesn't really matter. I used to go for symmetrical center, but I stopped doing that because I like the asymmetry better now, and I like the way that looks. I think it's sort of more artistic. And lastly, the size of the negative space. Now, when you're dumping your black paint, if you go slowly, you have a chance of getting a smaller negative space. If you pour more quickly, you're going to disperse the puddle paint underneath, and you're going to have a larger negative space. So keep that in mind when you're doing these, that you want to pour slowly or really slow. It just depends on how you want to do it, and see what you get. Okay guys, I'm going to prep my paints. We're going to get started here in a minute. Hold on, and yeah, take care. We'll see you in a second. Okay, I am back. It took about 25-30 minutes to mix all my paints, and here we have it. So as you can see, there's blue and teal, some white, and some champagne. So I'm going to be using, of course, my dump paint is the soft body acrylic paint from Artist Loft. And my initial puddle paint is going to be this pearl, and it is from Craft Smart. This blue is a combination of ice blue and sapphire. The ice blue is Dazzling Metallics, and the sapphire is Craft Smart. And this teal is also a combination of Peacock Pearl from Dazzling Metallics and Aquamarine from Craft Smarts. And then Folk Art Champagne, sort of that yellow creamy color. And these two are the same as the other colors. It's the blue and the teal. So I'm going to dump it in this fashion. I'm going to lay down a little bit of white, blue, add more white, the green, the champagne, then the blue again, champagne in between, and then green. So I'm going to have all those layers laid out, and then we will do the dump paint and we'll tilt it. Okay, I'm going to paint the edges, make sure everything is level. Always remember, guys, when you're doing a painting, see my little level there? Always make sure your edges and sides are level. And what I do sometimes too is I put the level in the middle of the canvas just to make sure that it's even, and I'll go around the corners as well as sort of the interior periphery to make sure that it's a level canvas. Okay, so let me prep the edges and we'll get started. Okay guys, so this did not turn out well, and I will tell you why. The colors are beautiful. My paints were too thick. And you say, how can you tell? Well, I could tell when I was tilting, the paint wasn't moving like it usually moves. And for some reason, even though I was pouring slowly, I had this huge negative space. And these cells down here really didn't come through. Now the cells are awesome, but that's just too much negative space. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna watch me scrape it, and I'm gonna dry the canvas off, get it ready, mix my paints again, and we're gonna do it one more time. Okay guys, thanks for tagging along. Okay guys, here I am with the final results. Got a wonderful glare off my window there. I'll try to close the blinds and see if that makes it a little bit better. So this turned out much, much better. So much blue, I love blue. Blue is my favorite color. So let me move in and show you the details of this. Lots of cool cells. I've got the white and champagne right there. Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. Let me walk around over on this side here. I like this sort of teal up at this end. Blue is beautiful. So yeah, I hate to scrape, but I needed to on that one. It's interesting with this one that the negative space is so clean. Usually I have some cloudiness or some cells throughout that, but in this case, it isn't. So let me know what you think. Do you like it in this orientation, which would be orientation number 1, or like this? Can go either way with me. I like them both. I think they're pretty cool. And I'm glad I got some blue. Okay, guys, I've got a couple more canvases this weekend, and I'm going to do another large pour, but I'm gonna mix it up and use a lot of color this time with orange, red, blue, purple, things like that. So hold on, maybe if this dries tonight, I'll do some touch-ups and I will show you before I start the next painting. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend.